Okay, so picture this. A massive earthquake strikes just off the coast. A tsunami should be there in minutes, right? But in Sendai, Japan, it took 30. That 30-minute delay seems impossible. And in this explainer, we're going to find out why it's actually the most important clue of all. So this is the puzzle at the heart of it all. An earthquake's epicenter is right there, just off the coast. Common sense tells you the tsunami should hit almost instantly, yeah? But it didn't. Instead, there was this 30-minute gap, a delay that just doesn't feel right. And it's a huge hint that there's something else, something bigger going on just beneath the surface. 30 minutes. Seriously, just let that sink in. That number is everything. It feels so wrong, but trust me, it's the very key that's going to unlock this entire mystery for us. All right, so let's officially call this what it is, the 30-minute paradox. And now we're going to start breaking down exactly why our gut instinct, our basic intuition about how tsunamis work, is, well, completely wrong. This is the assumption pretty much all of us make. And hey, it seems perfectly logical, right? I mean, you throw a stone in a pond, and the ripples closest to the splash hit the edge first. Easy. So a nearby earthquake should mean a tsunami in just a few minutes, not half an hour. But here's the thing. That whole line of thinking is built on a massive misunderstanding. Okay, so to really solve this thing, the very first thing we have to do is bust a huge myth. That epicenter, the dot on the map they show you right near the coast, turns out that's not where the tsunami story actually begins. Not even close. And here it is. This is the one rule that changes absolutely everything. You ready? A tsunami cannot be generated from land. Doesn't matter if the earthquake's epicenter is on land or right next to the coast. The shaking ground itself can't create that wave. So, if it's not the land, what in the world is it? And that question, that brings us to the real source of the power. The tsunami's true engine. Because the real action isn't happening anywhere near the coast. It's happening way, way further out and deep, deep under the ocean. So get this, the true origin, the birthplace of the tsunami, isn't the shaking ground at all. It's the violent, sudden movement of entire underwater mountain ranges. Can you picture that? The earthquake is just the trigger. It's these massive mountains literally shoving a colossal amount of water out of the way that actually give birth to the tsunami. I absolutely love this analogy. Think of these underwater mountains as the tsunami's manufacturer. The earthquake, that just flips the on switch at the factory. And that factory, that manufacturer, is located far from the coast, which, you guessed it, is the first huge piece of our 30-minute puzzle. All right, so now we get into the nitty-gritty, the physics of how this delay actually happens. Because when that underwater mountain moves, it doesn't just create one wave. Nope, it creates two, and they could not be more different. This is really a tale of two waves. Okay, so this one single event underwater creates two totally different waves. First up, you've got the pressure wave. Now you can't see it. It's this invisible pulse of energy that just shoots through the water at incredible speed. But then you've got the surface wave, and that is the tsunami you see. It's this giant mound of water moving along the ocean surface. It's unbelievably powerful, for sure, but, and this is the key, compared to that pressure wave, it's actually much, much slower. So here's how it all comes together. The second that underwater mountain shifts, boom, it sends out that invisible, super fast pressure wave. At the same time, it starts pushing the much slower, visible surface wave, the actual tsunami, on its long trek to the coast. And that entire 30-minute delay, it's literally just the travel time for that physical wall of water to get from the deep ocean factory all the way to the shore. And just like that, the paradox is solved. So, let's pull it all together now. Let's look at what this deceptive delay is really telling us. Because it's not a sign of a weak or slow event. Oh no, it's the exact opposite. So, what are the big takeaways here? Well, we've learned that the coastal epicenter was a total red herring, right? The real power, the true manufacturer, was way out at sea. We now know that the 30-minute delay wasn't a paradox at all. It was just the commute time for that giant visible wave to finally hit the coast. And what that really shows us is that a tsunami warning, it's a desperate race, not against the earthquake, but against the speed of that massive and thankfully slower-moving surface wave. When you really think about it, that 30-minute gap, it wasn't a period of safety. It was the calling card of a monster. It was the unmistakable signature of a ridiculously powerful event happening way farther out at sea than anyone realized at first. The delay was the warning. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? We see this pattern in other places in nature where a seemingly quiet pause or a strange little delay is actually the clue, the telltale sign of a much bigger, much more powerful process building up just out of sight. So it makes you wonder, what other delays out there are just clues, waiting for us to figure out the bigger story?